Alright, so quick backstory.
Alright.
Bleed 2, basically, it's a platformer. We play Rin. You can slow down time and dash 3 times. When you hit the ground, you can dash. You refresh all your dashes. So your goal is to end your third dash close to the ground. That way you can get your dashes back. So you'll see me staying pretty close to the ground the entire time and hopefully not getting hit. I'm playing on story, so if I die, I just restart wherever I'm at the moment. So not a huge time loss. If I take a hit, I just don't want to die. But we will abuse death sometimes, because there's a couple different things we can do with it. So you'll see, like, I just try to stay near the ground as much as possible. Most enemy spawns are predetermined by difficulty. So as you learn the runs, you kind of know where everyone's going to be. There are some exceptions to that, obviously. And bosses have different attacks and abilities that all RNG. And unfortunately, some of them are pretty big time losses. So the game is really just kind of like a boss rush. So our first mini boss here is Roly Poly Oli, as I call him. Pretty easy to kill. So Rin, being the purple character, she can deflect purple bullets. So as you see anything purple on the screen, so kind of like Cuphead, we can deflect that, including bosses themselves. Our main source of damage is going to come from deflects. Well, our increase for time is going to be deflects. Our primary damage is just our pistols. So I'm playing a new game, which means I can only use like abilities and weapons that you can start with. So that is my pistol katana combo, so I can shoot and then I can deflect. And then I can also switch to just pistols, which makes literally no sense because this means you just can't deflect. And then I can switch to katanas only, which is that. So those are the two things you'll see me use during the run. So this boss is not great, but if I get a lot of deflects like that, it's pretty nice. So anytime that you see deflects, I'm going to try to go for them if it's not going to lose me time. If I can get a slash and a deflect all in the same thing, I will. That was unfortunate. I got hit, and because I got hit during his dash, I wasn't able to get the deflect on him. It's pretty solid. If I didn't get hit by that that stray bullet that prevented me from the deflect, I would have nailed that time. So the game is basically platforming, and then once you end that part of the platforming, you're just doing another boss. So this is Kitty Chopper. He's definitely not too difficult, but goal is to, whenever he shoots things, he's going to prevent your bullets from hitting him. So our goal is to not hit any of those things, unless it's a deflect. Unfortunately, that can be purple, and since it was not purple, we did not get a deflect out of it. We didn't lose any time though, because all of his stuff flew above me, so didn't make it so none of my bullets didn't connect. There's tons of other things in the game, like at the top right you can see my style meter. That's how like stylish you're playing, which actually has no like concern to you in new game, but in freestyle, where you're allowed to use any kind of gear you want, there's a gun called White where its damage and speed of rate of fire changes depending on your style. So this is our rival. He's driving a big ol' semi at us now. So Bleed 2, being the second version of the game. So Bleed 1 is pretty good. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder than Bleed 2. So most of us opt to play Bleed 2. And we really enjoyed the boss fights in both the games, but you'll see a lot of bosses from Bleed 1 coming back in this game as well. you'll see them just a tad. Especially doing pretty good for time. Valentine is going to be our primary antagonist for the game. So she has this nice little shield on her. We can't do anything against it, unfortunately, so it's going to have to wait for some extra firepower. Now, if you're playing... thank you, Hospital. If you're playing freestyle, you can actually use different attacks to actually break the shield early. That way you don't have to worry about all these phases. Now, we want to avoid the purple cars. So purple cars, I'm just really bad at. So I'm hoping that I don't get a purple car spawn. It's all RNG. I should be able to make it, but sometimes I just don't make it. Okay, so this is the purple car one. Okay, got them all. Got very close on that one, so. And then she can't repeat the same one, so she can't use purple car. So this is just debris. Debris is not hard. So that's Valentine. She's not really that challenging. Classic Hopsiddle. The Hopsiddle is actually currently the world record holder for this category. He beat me by 4 seconds. I'm currently 6.3 seconds over, so that's not looking good for us here. So this is one of my favorite stages. It's got 3 bosses. The first boss is probably my favorite boss, but during my practice run, she was probably my least favorite boss of all time. I did really, really bad against her, so I guess we'll see if I still like her after this run, I guess. So she has a lot of ads. And so you really want to focus on not hitting ads and focus on hitting her. But that's also really challenging to do when every time you get hit, you stop firing. I really don't care about dying. If I get close to dying, it's not a huge deal. Yeah, I'll say this: the run I did that got the world record initially was like a super solid run, and after I started being like, oh, I could probably beat that, yeah, it was like not happening. So this is Ninja. If you ever play this game, which I recommend everyone should, he's probably like the most challenging piece of crap that you will fight. Just awful to fight. Once you get him down, though, he's not as bad. It's gonna have really good reaction time. Now this part, I'm gonna try to not to take a bunch of damage, but we'll see. Gonna play it easy for right now. So, wasn't the best run for him. When he is sitting there, he actually deflects all of your bullets, and not great. Difference between a deflect and just like absorbing them. They come back at you, and you don't want to get hit by the ricocheted bullet, because the deflected bullet is just like 10 times faster than your bullet, like when you shoot it out. So, not great. I want to go into the final boss with like pretty low health, but pretty confident, so I'm not going to take a death for it. I respect him. I respect him to be nice enough not to kill me. He's a solid man. I respect him, so it'll be good. Give me 2 deflects. Unfortunately, how he shoots him out, it's kind of hard to land him, but I got 1 to land. Yep, 2 more. I'll try to stay close to the bottom here, that way I can fall off the screen a little bit faster. Rex Rocket's not too bad, just shoots to keep your platforms up. It's a good man. Thought I hit the platform, but I did not. One thing, bosses won't spawn unless you destroy all the enemies in that area. So this is Dr. Mario, as we pretty much call him now. He just shoots a bunch of pills out at you. Kind of messed up. So using the katana, I'm able to get lots of damage out on him and clear all of his ads. So this is our only auto-scroller, and it's worse than any auto-scroller that's ever existed because you can see it's slowly starting to speed up. The issue is if you get hit at all, like even once, then it actually resets the speed like that. Let's try to switch back to my guns, but did not do it quick enough, and because of that, it slowed my speed down. So that's a couple second time loss there. So boss fights, you really want to kind of have that down, but platforming between levels definitely saves a lot of time. So getting good at the game, you definitely need to learn all the you have to learn all the boss fights. But I mean, if you can't platform very well, then when you have time between the bosses, I mean, you're losing a lot of time. So you want to learn how to optimize the 3 dashes and all that. So there you can see I let the boss come all the way towards me. That way I get just tons of free damage on him as he rolls towards me, and then I deflect the farthest away. That way he has to roll farther away from me. This is Gibeon Stew. My buddies, some worms. So all the bosses that I'm counting now are actually bosses that were in the first Bleed game. But they basically were like remade as just robots. So he has 3 different attacks. It's this one where he's just passively just jumping around and shooting balls of death at you. And then the other one is this right here where they just fly in the air and shoot. You can get a lot of good deflects out of it, but it's not worth it. Because then you have to try to jump through just the worst thing. So this guy is the worst of all of them because he has a shield that in new game we just cannot get around. Now that deflect we actually do not want to get, because if you do, he actually resets how much damage he's going to be able to take for a little bit. We'd rather just let him just shoot it out and ignore it. But basically we want to keep rotating around him to find that opening and shooting it. I'm not going to be able to get around. I was thinking about taking that deflect, but I didn't. Probably should have. Would have got that damage I needed. That's okay. This is a Robo Bunny, which is kind of the worst thing in the world. You just slow down, but you won't. So she got 1 deflect at the end of that. So she's kind of random. We have to get those deflects because that's where majority of our damage is going to come from, because she just doesn't take damage from anything else. Drops space cars on you too, apparently, so it's kind of messed up. Alright, we're only 4 seconds over. But 4 seconds is all we needed. So this is what we would call the worst level for platforming. Of course I got a purple. An orange, my bad. So I want purple everything. But I am not getting much luck out of that. So getting through there without taking any damage is like the golden thing that could happen to you. I did not get that lucky. And so we gotta really hope he opens up himself to get hit. We don't want the center ones to be opened. They got opposite of that. I still haven't been able to do any damage to him really. There we go. Doesn't help me. Because as soon as he does that and shoots them all out, then I can't get any damage again. Still can't do any damage. There we go. Little bit of damage. That's good. That's what we want. We want where he shoots out something in the center so we can hit him and then actually do something and then him just keep it like that for a bit. Try to thread that needle a little bit. That was terrible. That was kind of a huge time loss. Nothing we could have done about it. So now we're in zero gravity for a little bit here. We have 1 health. I'm just gonna take a quick death on this guy. Just don't have to worry about it. So I start the boss. He just spawns right back here. Try to get as many deflects as I can. I can put these bombs on the eye to get some extra damage in. Oh, missed it. So there's 2 parts to this. The first one is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now this one, he just roams around with you, dropping bombs that you can't do nothing with. Now this part, we want to get as many of these on there as we can to blow off different parts. We can get some damage on the core. Unfortunately, didn't go a whole lot. Got 2 deflects there, didn't have to slow down time. So the game has a feature where you can slow down time, which is great, but we really don't want to slow down time. So unfortunately, we didn't get the purple deflect. We got the orange deflect, which means we can't do anything with it. And because of that, we didn't get any damage. But then he always starts. If you get a orange deflect, then he does a purple deflect immediately after. But he's usually like right next to you, so need some pretty quick reaction time to get that down. I unfortunately missed it. So like I said, this level is like the worst for platforming. And you're about to see this. So we want no balls to spawn with orange on the inside. Because if we hit those, they shoot non-deflectable bullets like that we can't do anything about. And we got 2 more here. So we definitely don't want to take a death here. So I'm going to have to slow some time if I have to, but so slowing time, it's a great feature, but it literally just takes you more time to get through the level. So I'm going to try to not do as much as possible. So this boss, he's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and just, I know I have 1 health, but I'm going to risk it. So I'm risking it for the hardest one here. So if I miss one, I'm dead. Alright, we're good. So Pac-Man is the one we want the most. Pac-Man is the highest damage you're going to get. Fortunately, I messed up there. He did not follow me all the way he's supposed to. So we wanted him to fully follow us to our location so that he goes the farthest distance. That way we can get the most damage out of him. But unfortunately, he didn't follow me the second time. We got another Pac-Man, which is awesome, but he's going to be dead here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yes, his name is Fingers. So, that wasn't a terrible warship. Fingers kind of screwed us though, I'll be honest. So, Rival helping us out. What a good guy. So now we're going into what should be the final level, but secretly it's not. Is the showdown between you and Valentine. So we have an audience of all the enemies that we've been fighting throughout the game. And Valentine taunts, and well, when she taunts, you know, obviously like any civilized crowd, you throw trash at the person they're going to be playing against or fighting against for that round, I guess. That's okay. So she's not too bad. Yeah, get that roller arc with a 25 over. So She has a couple phases. This one we don't want because... Oh my god. So basically we want her to use any attack that is not going to prevent us from doing any damage. This one's fine. Anytime that if she summons something that is going to prevent bullets from going through, the worst thing. This is good because I can stand back, let her to shoot things. Ah, oh, so close. So I'm taking a little damage there. I don't want to be full health going after this fight, but I also have to watch out that I don't die, because if dying redoes an entire phase, and an entire phase takes a lot longer. So this one kind of sucks, and I don't get crap for damage out. I guess I'll time there for a second. Now I need to land my deflect on her, get some good damage in. Like I said, really can't afford taking any damage here. Okay, I took one, so just gotta kill her before I get hit by one of these bullets. So we want to be at 1 health, because we're gonna do a thing called the death skip. So death skip basically makes it so that there's an entire animation for that, but we really don't care about her animation, so we're just gonna go ahead and skip it. So now we get a taunt, and it pisses the crowd off, and then they throw trash at her. And we try to go for a stun lock here, where we just keep taunting before she can reset into her cycle. I did miss it, so now we have to go through the rest of the phase. So basically what you can do, as soon as you get the first taunt off, you can actually just keep taunting her, and then keep her stuck there. Yeah, it's pretty terrible that I missed the stun lock. We're going to go into the final match here against the rival. Oop. So first thing with the fight is the Mantis. And he is just the worst thing because... Oh, so that I can't do any damage against. We're looking for any good deflects here, and unfortunately doesn't really have any. He just has a lot of, I'm going to prevent you from doing any damage. So, you know, finally a really smart creation that someone invented compared to, hey, let's keep giving these things to deflect and shoot back at us. Another one that's super unlucky. Definitely not good RNG. So you can see the town celebrating my great victory of just murdering tons of people throughout the city. So we're trying to go for a 1 cycle here. Ah, almost. We just didn't get hit by the laser. So now the rockets are going to be shooting randomly. We want purple ones. Preferably ones that are close to the ground and able to be deflected back at the rival without losing too much damage. So there are no more death abuses that we're going to do, so taking damage now, just taking damage. Which we don't mind too much on, unless we have to do a death just to reset. There's 3 more bosses, and it's just the rival, and just different pieces of equipment. It's got a lot of money. So our goal is just to beat him as many times as possible so he runs out of money. And once he runs out, then we become victorious. We inherit all of his wealth. Okay, we're having some pretty good luck on this. He can shoot a giant rock out of the center. Yep, just like that. And we got the deflect. I did get hit, but didn't really lose much time. Probably lost part of a second. Okay, that was actually really good. Really good luck on that guy. So now we have the last two bosses. We got Crawling Core, which, when you first fight him, he's probably as bad as the ninja, honestly. But after you get him down, he's not that bad. So I'm gonna hold backwards and just try to break some of these blocks. And then if he's gonna shoot me, I just move up or down to jump to a new block. Of course, I got the one where he's just gonna charge me. And then I have the full lasers after that. Man, that is kind of crappy. Kind of crappy, bro. Alright, so that's pretty good. Well, we went up there, but that wasn't a bad Crawling Core. Could have been much, much worse. So, Crawling Core can easily just ruin your day by doing a full charge, but he's orange instead. So, now the rival, the one thing we don't want him to use is the katana, which he immediately opened up with. I had to slow down time there since I was really high in the air. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get down in time. Now, you can ping pong him. I don't like to play ping pong. I just do a single deflect, so it keeps him locked in the location for a little bit longer. The biggest thing here, we just don't want to see katanas. As long as we don't see a katana, it doesn't really matter what he uses. Pistols are probably our favorite thing to use. Sorry, we want him to use pistols, because at the end, he does a dash. We don't want an orange dash, we only want purple dashes. We're going back to the katana, which means we can't do any damage. I'm not even going to deflect the first one, just because I'm kind of low on health and I don't want to risk getting hit once and then dying. Like I said, I'm not going to risk that. As long as he's in pro katana, we should be good. That was really close, actually. No katana, we're good. Ooh, look at that hopsicle. That's actually a world record. So hopsicle can suck it. So, did really, really bad. That had really just straight up great RNG on the rival fight. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, the game has a lot of really cool parts to it. Sub 27, hell yeah. Yeah, the game has a lot of different like fun things you can kind of do. The character select, you have tons of different characters with all different abilities, and different equipment like pieces of gear. But honestly, I just stick with New Game. It's my favorite. Yeah, Hop still sucks, so it was pretty easy to beat his record, honestly. I got really lucky, honestly, because during Warship, I really, really messed up on Warship. And I also missed a skip on Showdown, but the rival fight was just straight up really good RNG, especially on Crawling Core, so it saved me a lot of time. Okay, I think that's all I have. We are doing a tournament, actually, soon for the people in our community, so we're also going to be like, starting up brackets and stuff and doing a fun little tournament of that, so pretty excited.